And welcome back to the Shomari Show. Jason's Letter is about, it's a powerful film that addresses an unarmed police shooting in America through the eyes of two young boys, one of whom had to give his life. And I'm pleased to be joined by the brother who created that, Terrance Tykeem, and we're in studio with several mothers, powerful mothers of our community and of the black community, and we'll be hearing from each of those. Our time is a little limited, so I just want to actually move myself out the way. I want to hand it over to Brother Terrance to introduce who we have with us in the studio and really what gives birth to Jason's Letter.
Well, Jason's Letter was, to keep it short, a friend of mine sent me a letter. It sat in my email for a month and a half before I finally read it. Then I read it. He said, "You got to read this letter." A little boy wrote it. And when I read the letter, it absolutely blew my mind that a child felt like he had to write a letter to try to stop these cop shootings in his community. And it was staggering to know that a child had to go this far and an adult just wouldn't. So when I read the letter, he said, "You're going to want to turn this into a book or maybe a TV show." I said, no, we turn this into a movie. And I reached out to Paul Anthony from Full Force, him and his brother Bo Legaloo. They were in the House Party movies. They reached out to Vivica. We got Vivica Fox in the movie. Big Quentin Aaron from the movie The Blind Side. Then I called Claudia. I called Brian Hooks, who's in the movie. Then Brian called Claudia Jordan. And I reached out to Joe Ganascoli from The Sopranos. And then we got Mike Paré from Eddie and the Cruisers. So the cast is huge. But the film has been done for a while. It'll be on demand all through the month of August. And on September 1st, it'll go national for anybody that has cable. It'll be on the Stars Network. And but once the movie was done, I knew I had to do something to keep it more real. And the only thing that could be more real than the movie itself and the issue of something was to have one or two of the mothers in the movie. Claudia Jordan plays the part of the lady who lost her son in the movie. So I reached out to a friend of mine, and she contacted Samaria Rice, who's the mother of Tamir Rice, and she reached out to Miss Gwen Carr. She's the mother of Eric Garner, and they agreed to be in a scene. And the scene in this movie is really powerful. It's not scripted. You can't script this kind of thing because you can't sit there and tell somebody, "I need you to say this," when you know that this kids got killed for real by the police. So I said, "We're not going to script this. I need y'all to do it the right way." So they sat there with Claudia and they consoled her about the death of her son in the movie, which was fictitious, but theirs was real. And this scene you're gonna see with them in the movie is real. Nobody acted this out. It's just raw. And what we're doing now, we're doing a screening for the film. Not a screen, it's a sneak peek that we're doing tomorrow at 1431 Seats. Will be more at the Drought House. And Samaria and Miss Gwen reached out to Sandra Bland's mom, Miss Geneva Reed-Veal, and she also reached out to Sean Bell's mom, Valerie Bell, and they will all be there to support this project and support the issue and to keep this in the media because they don't want to put these kind of things on TV. So I had to get these mothers involved to kind of force their hand to do that. And on that note, aside from, like I said, we're going to be screening the sneak peek tomorrow. I want you to hear from the mothers, and they'll tell you why they decided to do this.
So from each of you, and we'll start here and just work your way down, what is it that you want us to hear or to know from you?
Hi, I'm Samaria Rice, mother at Tamir, and being a part of Jason's Letter is just to keep the conversation open and the dialogue open. It's always an uncomfortable situation, and what white America needs to be known is they need to be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? They need to be uncomfortable about killing black and brown boys and taking people's life with no accountability. So yeah, that's what white America needs to know, and just America, period. The conversation is not easy.
I'm Geneva Reed-Veal, the mother of Sandra Bland, and when I got the call, it was necessary for me to make sure that I stepped out because we are in a world now where we're looking at everything else that's distracting us on the TV.
Wow.
You got everything going on in the White House, but you ain't talking about what's affecting us, okay? And so the reason it's not being talked about is because we're not keeping it out there. So I said, okay, social justice, that's my thing. Criminal, that's my thing. So I said, I got to get out there. Got to get out. Then to meet this brother and to feel his heart about this movie. See, for us, this is our reality. This is not really a movie for us. It's our reality. So we need to let people see what that pain means. We need to let them understand what that is for us. Because when the lights, cameras, and action and go, we still have empty seats.
Without a doubt, yes.
Hi, my name is Valerie Bell. I'm the mother of Sean Bell, and I also received the call from this young man. I'm proud of him of what he's planning to, what he is doing. Like Samaria Rice said, to keep it out there to America, because there's so many killings each and every day. And even though it's been going to be 12 years for my son, every time I hear about this, it opens up the wound again. So we need to keep their names out there in their ears, do films like this so they could see it, because we are tired of this going on and on and on. Instead of not, coming together like we need to, but if we keep together like this, it will make a difference.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Gwen Carr. I'm the mother of Eric Garner. And when I was called to do this film, when I was contacted by Samaria, and when she told me that Terrance wanted to meet me and wanted her and I to do a little scene in the movie, I was pleased, because I says, wow, now we can keep awareness out there, because we are real moms. We were not acting, okay? We were consoling an acting mom, but even for her, she said this felt so real. She didn't even have to pretend to cry. She really cried, as we sat there to console her. And we have to do more of these films. We have to keep this out there to the public. We have to call our children's name, because if we don't do it, who's going to do it? And that's why we're all in this club that we don't want to be in. We don't want you in it, because the membership is too high. You have to pay the ultimate price to be in this membership.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I was. We had a community violence forum yesterday, and I moderated a panel where a young lady had gotten shot in her neighborhood in her eye, and the first question she asked, thankfully she's still with her. She was on the panel. She's still alive. But I was touched by the fact that one of her first questions was, what did she do? What did she do wrong, and how she began, and we began to internalize and own these kind of victimizations that happen to us. And I'm just wondering, as a mother, how has these life events transformed you, and particularly, what do you see your calling now? Not just for the loved one that was lost, but for the larger black community. How do you walk into that calling now, given the events that happened to you?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I like to invest in our youth, and I actually developed a community center for the youth, ages 10 through 19 in Cleveland, Ohio, Tamir Afrocentric Cultural Center. And I just want to give back to the community and the youth, because they're our future. We have to invest in them. They will create the change for us when we're not here, and don't want to lie to them like America has been lying to all of us all these years. So once you plant the seed when they're small, they grow up to know what's right and what's wrong for real, and not for play.
So I'm gonna come back to you, because I wanted to hear from you why Afrocentric and some of the lies that you really think are important that we correct.
And for me, the youth are the future. So they watch the same murders just like we do. And so they're growing up now afraid, 10, 12, 11 years old. I have a grandson, 10 years old, who said, Grandma, am I going to be next? That's some real stuff for your grandbaby to ask you. Okay, I've got a 6-year-old granddaughter who made a whole sandy little drawing. I keep it in my purse. It's in there now. And she's got her on the ground, and she's got the officer, and she always asks what was wrong with the officer. Okay, so now I'm getting all these things together, trying to get the Sandra Bland Institute together at Prairie View A&M, because they will never forget that baby. You understand? It's going to be Sandy City in a minute. And if we don't remember all of these things that happen with these children, it will continue to happen, and then there will be yet another incident, and then people are going to be so angry that here now we will have the Third World War. And so it's our job now. I always say it, and I hear you say it a lot. This is God's business now. See, because he knew who to call. He knew who could take it. He knew who wouldn't fall off the grid.
Right.
All right. Now, I'm not saying that we're superwomen and we don't have some bad days, but he knew that we could stand and go through and carry the mantle.
Yes.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to do that till the day I die. Okay.
Yes.
Well, was ordained as a minister of justice, and my bishop said when I go out, he's proud of me the way I speak with the mothers, be with the mothers, and I feel I have an ear for the mothers. They could call me anytime, and I think even though we're not going to forget the youth, we did have a community center where the people were not helping us, so I felt it was time to close the doors and go beyond the walls. So that's what I'm doing now, because since my son's death, I've never been here, or there. There's a reason that he died. We all going to die one day, but there's a reason, a purpose, and a plan for me to be here And, you know, like she said, we don't want to be in this club, but I'm glad that I met these wonderful mothers. We don't talk about our son or daughter, what happened. We just had laugh and talk and have fun. But I feel like I'm an ear for the people, and we're going to make changes. Like in New York, we did an executive order that Governor Cuomo signed to assign a special prosecutor. So things I like to do is have it down in paper so people will never forget.
Yes, this is Gwen Carr, and what I like to do, as Valerie said, we were together when we did the executive order for the special prosecutor, and what we're doing, we know that it's too late for our sons, even though we're not going to let them forget our sons, but we trying to save the young ones and the unborn, and that's why we're out here trying to change laws, trying to make a difference, and even though that when we come together, we are strength when we come together. We love on each other. We laugh together. We cry together. If there's something that, you know, is displeasing, we hash it out, because that's what we do as mothers.
Right.
And then we go on about our journey, because we're all in this journey for the same reason, and we're going to stay on this journey, and you know, I'm in it for the long run.
I will say I'm uplifted by just your energy, all of you all. Right now, I'm, you know, protection. We've been talking today about protection on the show, and I'm just wondering your thoughts, particularly as let's hone in. I know the role and the need for legislation and a lot of these things, but I'm wondering, when we just talk about the black community and our need to protect ourselves.
That's right.
From these incursions into our space, I mean, all of these stories are tragic in their own right. But then also, growingly, it seems like we also devalue our own lives as we're dealing one with another. So I'm just wondering how you think and what your words to our community would be about our need to engage in protection, both one to another, but then also from people, whether they're in uniform or not. I mean, recently there's something that happened in Oakland where a white man just like stabbed
a girl at the BART station.
Yes, I mean, like, how do we as the black community really need to answer this call to our own self-protection?
Well, I mean, I don't really know if it's a good enough answer for that, but what happened in the BART station, I mean, that could have happened to any one of us, and I just will say to our community, we have to be aware of who is in our community and who's around our surroundings and things like that. That was very tragic and sad, but yeah, I would just say we have to be aware of our surroundings and get more knowledgeable of what's going on, because they had to call me because I'm not watching TV a lot these days.
Me either.
So I had to get a call to say, did you hear what happened? Did you hear what happened? So just more knowledgeable of what's going on, you know, try to seek more information if possible. You know, I really don't know. It's sad. But when it comes to protecting ourselves, I mean, our homes are so broken, you know, anyway, in the black community, and everybody trying to get ahead of one another. Everybody is envious of one another. So I said we have to work on ourselves first, our mental wellness, our mental health, and everything like that, for we all could be on one accord, because we're stronger in numbers. And that's what our black community need to have, a sense of hope, you know what I'm saying, because the hope is definitely gone. So we have to kind of rebuild that, and you know, the American system is not doing that for us. It's not designed for us. Yeah.
Well, for me, I know for a fact that we have lost hope. We have forgotten. We forgot what we went through back there, which is now resurfacing. We need to pay better attention on the things that we're losing because we're not staying alert and aware. Oh, you can tell me you woke, but are you woke for real? See, because it's one thing to be woke and moving. It's one thing to be woke and moving in the movement, because movements move and activists activate. All right? But I can be woke laying right in my bed and looking dead at the ceiling.
Right, exactly.
Am I moving? No, I'm woke, but I'm not moving. And that's what's going on here. The old schoolers have sat down. We're not taking these young people and showing them what's supposed to be done. We're leaving them a legacy of foolishness. We're leaving them a legacy of demise, loss, unemployment. And we're constantly talking about what the man is doing. No. You, and you, man. You get up. Okay, because
That's right.
before it's all over with, seriously,
That's right.
before it's all over with, the woman was never, ever created to run the household. That's the man's job. But she has been forced into that role. And so now you got all this dysfunction.
I have a question on that line. I'm going to hear it from the other mothers, but I'm going to come back to that statement and ask a particular question.
When she said you and you, that means the family need to come together. The mother, the fathers, if it's a household of mothers and fathers, even mother, you need to talk to your children to tell them what's going on. And, you know, I have a son 39, I have a daughter 26, and they say, why you got to ask me where I'm going? I said, because you're my child.
That's
I want to know, because I don't want to get a phone call
That's right.
and don't know where you at. So communication in the household, to me, is the first step of coming together to make this, you know, hopefully a better community.
And I think protection starts in the community. I think it really starts with us as parents. We have to we have to teach our children how to protect themselves and how to be aware of what's going on around them. And in the community, we should have organizations that we could look out for each other, and we could let, like, calling the police be a last result, because the community is together.
police. Come on now.
You know, so we don't have to, soon as we hear a noise, call the police, because someone else got eyes on you and other people are watching. So they'll give you a phone call. I see somebody at your door that, you know, I don't recognize. You know, so yes. So, and then the community need to have police who walks the beat, not police in police cars. They should know the people that they are policing, and the people who they are policing should know them. And I think that would make things better too. Then they wouldn't be so quick to shoot and kill us.
We're listening to the voices of Valerie Bell, Geneva Reed-Veal, Gwen Carr, and Samaria Rice. They're the mothers of people whose names we know and whose names we need to continue to know and continue to remember. They're here as part of the Jason's Letter Tour. It's a film and an experience written and conceived by Brother Terrance Tykeem. When we come back from commercial break, I want to ask Brother Terrance again, kind of give our listening audience ways that they could support this upcoming tour, and then we'll have more dialogue. Stay tuned. To the Shomari Show, I'm joined in studio by Samaria Rice, Gwen Carr, Geneva Reed-Veal, and Sean Bell. And they're part of this. Some of them are featured in, several are supporting Jason's Letter Tours, written by Terrance Tykeem. And Brother Terrance, can you tell us again about the screening that's forthcoming for Jason's Letter?
You can please come out tomorrow from 7 p.m. until, it's a sneak peek of the film. We're going to show a lot of it. I'm not going to show the whole film, but we're going to show enough of the film where you're going to get the gist. And then 3 days after the film, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 days, 3 days after the film, it'll be available for you to rent for $1.99 on all these on-demand outlets. And then on September 1st, it'll be on the Stars Network, where you know, national. And after that, we're going to get a date for Showtime as well. So you, if you miss it on demand, you're going to finally get a chance to see this thing on other networks. Because once we got it placed on Stars, now the other networks who didn't come along. Let me say this right now. Before let me finish that. It's 1431 Cecil B. Moore at the Draught House tomorrow night from 7 until we're going to do the red carpet with the mothers and the Claudia Jordan, Paul Anthony, Bowlegged Lou, Brian Hooks. Those are the ones that are in town from the film. Vivica is working on 2 projects, so she couldn't be here. But we need you guys to just come on out and just show your support. But let me say this right now. They did not want this film on TV, period. And I'm noticing that a lot of films of this nature are finding it hard. Like I said, I use the phrase, it's like pulling teeth with your finger to try to get a film like this on TV. But we had to practically give it to them, you know, so there's no real money coming from this. This is about really keeping this story out there, so everything that's getting done is coming out of pocket at this point, because it can't just be about $1 at the end of the day. You know, you got to want to do something and care about more than just yourself. And for whatever reason, most of us don't care about anything but ourselves. A lot of times we don't care about ourselves. That's why we're doing things that are putting ourselves in jeopardy every day. But having said that, the film is about really showing an issue on the front line from the mother's standpoint, and the little boy was able to do that. And this mother in the film, Claudia Jordan, did a she did a heck of a job in this film. And the mother, the two mothers in the scene, Tamir Rice's mother and Eric Garner's mother, supported her in that scene. That's a powerful scene. So just in order to support this film, just try to come on out, and you can go online, follow me on social media, and just click Terrance Tykeem and click Jason's letter. Keep supporting it, and just come on out to the events, and just come on out tomorrow night and show your support.
Great. And so what I'm going to do, I have so many questions, but we're not going to have time to get to them. So what I want to offer each of you, some of you mentioned the ways that you're keeping the memories alive and the cultural center and ways of that. So give our listening audience, for each of you, the way that they could best support your work going forward. If there's a website, if there's a donation page, or whatever way that would be that best supports your work going forward. Just each of you take some time and do that.
Yes. Well, you guys can support the Tamir Rice Foundation at any U.S. bank. You can always drop a donation off there, and the money that's being used will help do the renovations for the building, materials, supplies for Tamir's Afrocentric Center that will be opening up next year, maybe around his birthday next year, 2019, June 25th. Is his birthday, so I'm looking to have a grand opening at that time, and that is ways that you can support and stay connected with Samaria Rice. Thank you.
And ways that you can support and stay connected with Sandra's story. We have a screener of the documentary, Say Her Name, The Life and Death of Sandra Bland. It's out now. We go all across the country. It's everywhere now. Thank God the theaters are all packed out. But my main thing would be to ask that any and everybody pay attention to the real story. Pay attention, because it's not over. And the family is going forward again against Waller County again. You will hear it very soon. And so I just ask that you stay alert and aware when you hear these things. I'm going to make some radical moves, and just pay attention.
Well, let us know how we can support that.
Oh, I'll let you
I always
know.
support the radical moves.
Well, you can support. I wrote a book called Sean Bell Just 23. Came out in 2016. You can buy it on Amazon.com, Author House. It's on eBay. eBay. What's the other store? I can't remember the other store. Barnes and Noble. So you can support the book that I wrote. It tells about the feelings that I was going through when my son was killed.
Yes, this is Gwen Carr, Eric Garner's mom. I also wrote a book. It will be coming out on October 1st. I'll have my first book signing on October 19th. The name of the book is This Stops Today, and I hope that you all will support me. And also, if you want to support the Garner Way Foundation, it's the website is garnerwayfoundation.org, and you can donate there to support us and what we're doing. And we're doing a lot of great things. You'll see it on our website.
Brother Tykeem, I'm wondering if you could talk, focusing on Jason's letter. Give us a little bit more about the story. It centers around these two young boys. I guess one writes a letter.
The one wrote the letter. Like I said, that's taken from a real story. Like I said, it took me a while to even read this email this guy sent me with the little boy's letter. Once I read it, I knew what I needed to do. My thing was to keep this thing in the media, and because it's such a powerful issue. Because every time I turned around, another one kept happening. It's like even while we was working on the film, I think 3 or 4 of them happened. So it's like it's just not going to stop, because if you're going to keep letting these people go, you can't expect it to stop. If you're going to keep on letting somebody kill somebody's kid and then nobody is held accountable for it, how are you going to expect it to stop? So I knew that it was never going. The subject matter would never come out of the media. So in the film, it's from the actual little boy's letter, but also in the film, without giving a lot of it away, the other little boy who you'll see during the course of the film, he has to give his life in order for any change to be made. Now the letter is the linchpin for the film, but the letter is read and it's accepted. This little boy gets it in front of the city council, but I'm not going to tell you how he dies or the whole situation. You have to see the movie, but it took this other little boy to die. Even like they're sitting here going back and forth in the city council, and nobody is listening. And then another little boy gets killed. Then they're finally listening.
Right
So
outside the city.
Yeah. See, she's doing
Oh.
yeah. I'm trying not to give the thing away. She giving it. She just giving it away.
I was sorry. I was trying to give them something to look forward to. Y'all come out and support Jason's letter, please. Please. It's a very powerful film, though, and it's powerful and it's a must-see. It's amazing how a 12-year-old, and that's why I'm so connected with it, because my son was 12, and how he come up with this, try to come up with some solutions to address the situation. It's powerful.
And part of the challenge for me is sometimes I feel like our young people, our sisters, our brothers are left to, or they feel like sometimes they have to figure this out on their own.
Yes.
I feel, and this might just be me being sad a little bit right now with all that's going on. I feel like in many ways as a village, we say in the African tradition it takes a village to raise a child, but the state of the village seems real precarious right now, that in many ways we are not doing our job in protecting particularly our children and our people. So I'm just wondering the healing that you all draw from being able to tell your story. Everybody might not have a chance to answer, but how does telling your story and remembering, I open my show every week with libation, because we have to remember and we got to call forward our ancestors' name. How does remembering and talking and being able to express, how does that help you heal?
Well, actually just supporting the cause and supporting the moms and sharing my platform, period, kind of helps me heal and move on. Also, with God's grace, it's not easy, you know what I'm saying? So I just do that to try to move on and stay blessed and things like that. Yeah.
Because we all still do have bad days. People see us out here doing the work, but we do still have bad days. I still have Sandy days. She still has Tamir days. She still has Sean days. She still has Eric days. And those days are just, they're hard. And so if we don't get up and get out of that bed, this thing that we're doing could then turn into something that's a negative instead of a positive. So we have to get up and keep on moving. Sometimes I get up, my hair is not combed. I do not want to bathe. You understand what I'm talking about? But I have to speak somewhere in 2 hours. So I need to get my, self together. So that's what's really important to us, having the opportunity to have the platform. You've got a huge platform here. And so those of us who have these platforms, we're charged with keeping it on the forefront.
Yes.
Yes. And also, we have learned to turn our tragedy into testimonies so that other people will hear what we have to say and maybe they could relate to it. And this is how we get in touch with each other, with other mothers who never had a day or a line in the paper about their tragedy. And we welcome all mothers, and we love on each other, we cry together, we laugh together. And with this is a kind of healing, and we don't think it's robbery if one of the mothers call in the middle of the night because they're having a bad night or having a bad day, because we understand where other people wouldn't understand.
Absolutely.
Sorry, real quick. On my way here, I heard the song Marvin Sapp, Never Would Have Made It. And that's the song I heard when my son got killed. And then without God, I wouldn't have made it. Without these people that I know, I wouldn't have made it. And I think of my son's life. I don't think of the 50 shots. I think of his life, what he lived while he was living. Thank God he left me 2 beautiful girls. Everybody didn't get that. But God will make a way for you. Just hold on and just keep people around you.
Brother Terrance Tykeem, final words about Jason's letter and again the event tomorrow at the Drought House.
Once again, 7 p.m. until 2 a.m. We're gonna do more honors of the mothers there. We're gonna meet the members of the cast, the local and the national cast. Like I said again, 1431 Cecil B. Moore. We'll do the little red carpet thing and the meet and greet, and then we'll do the several performances. We're going to give them re-give them their citations again at the event. We're heading to a church actually in the next hour or so to do one. But on that note, I just need you guys to keep supporting what we're doing and support these mothers, support their cause. We're obviously not going to stop here. We're going to be in more cities with this because we, like we're a team now, so, and we're going to keep this going, and we'll see everybody tomorrow night.
Do they pay at the door?
Yeah,
How
they can.
do
Yeah, they can. Well, you can get tickets on also at www.we-stand-up.org. That's we-stand-up.org. You can get tickets there, or you can just pay at the door when you get there, and just come on out and just celebrate what we're trying to do with the film and with this whole movement.
Miss Samaria Rice, Gwen Carr, Geneva Reed-Veal, Valerie Bell, I thank you all for joining us here on the Shomari Show. Brother Terrance Tykeem, much success and appreciation for you keeping the story alive.
Tickets are 30, either in advance or at the door. Tickets are 30 in advance or at the door. Either way, just come out and support and just meet these powerful people and see a powerful film.
And I encourage
Jason's letter.
Jason's letter, and I
Jason's
encourage
letter.
everybody to show up. And again, don't forget, they also gave you ways that you could support their individual legacy building work that's going on. I'm Eric Keith Grimes, Brother Shomari. This has been the Shomari Show. We'll talk with you next week.